Hello, how's everybody doing? We're doing a little bit of a UFC card talk right now because we just got a lot of big news which dropped yesterday on Thanksgiving Day. So first, let's not waste any time at all. UFC 324. The main event is Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim title. I really do not know how to feel about this. So number one, I'm gonna say it should have been Armand Sarukian. He was ready. He called for it. He said that he can make that quick of a turnaround. I just disagree with the fact that we're just gonna give Justin Gaethje whatever the hell he wants. I personally don't even believe that Paddy Pimblett deserves a title shot. I don't really know where this came from. I mean, we all know the stat of his last three wins are 0-13 for their win streaks. I get that. He just hasn't beaten anybody that's good at all. Like Michael Chandler is not that good. Bobby Green is not that good. Tony Ferguson is horrific. He was on his eighth loss in a row. I just don't understand why, number one, we're going to cater to Justin Gaethje, who was threatening retirement for no reason, saying his Max Holloway fight was an exhibition fight. Shut the hell up with that exhibition talk, dude. You weighed in, you fought, you got face planted. If you won the fight, you would not have said that it was a exhibition fight. And you know that. So I mean, I don't really know where I'm gonna lean for the winner here. I want to say I want to go towards Paddy Pimblett, but at the same time, Justin Gaethje, we all know that he got taken down against Habib, against Charles Oliveira, and submitted pretty easily. But you know what I mean? Like these are guys that are very, very good, and not that Paddy Pimblett is not a good grappler. He is. I think Justin Gaethje will stuff the takedowns very early on, but eventually, I think Paddy Pimblett is just going to be able to find the hips. But dude, I would not be surprised if Justin Gaethje steals a couple early rounds by tagging him, being reckless, being the normal Justin Gaethje that we know. Because Paddy Pimblett, he thinks, he doesn't think, he has a very good chin, which we know. But we've never seen him against a big, big power puncher land a big shot. We saw Michael Chandler land a cross, but he was kind of at the end of the punch, so we don't really know how he's going to fare against a guy like Justin Gaethje. But at the same time, when have we seen Justin Gaethje knock a dude out cold with his hands? It has been years and years since we've seen that. He's 36, hasn't fought since April of 2024. So I don't really know where, the current state of Justin Gaethje will be. So honestly, I might lean Paddy Pimblett here, probably by late submission. Co-main event for that card is Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes, the return of Amanda Nunes. I have a feeling that this fight is just kind of going to be boring. I mean, I think Amanda Nunes, she's just been out for so long. Like, she hasn't fought. Off the top of my head, it was UFC 289, which was in Canada. That was the Charles Oliveira Beneil Dariush card. So that's just been so long. Like that was, yeah, like I said, June of 2023. By that point, we'll be in January of 26. Who knows, how much time she took off when she retired. Yeah, she's probably still in the gym a little bit, but she's not going to be training for the fight camps, and it's just not going to be the same level of training. She's, I believe, 37 now. Kayla Harrison is young, not young, but relatively young for that division. She's hungry. She's very fucking dominant. I really do like her chances in this fight, and I think it's going to be a relatively boring fight in terms of, okay, Kayla Harrison's going to get a couple takedowns. Yeah, maybe she'll land some nice elbows from top, and there will be a couple moments here on the feet, but it's not that much going on. So, yeah, I'm going to lean towards Kayla Harrison there. I hope she gets that done. I see a lot of people hating on this fight. I'm not really against it. I mean, yeah, if it was a main event, sure, I wouldn't like it at all, but I'm fine with it. I think it works. The featured fight for that card is Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. It's very cold here in the Midwest, and I had the heat on in the car, so my phone overheated, so I apologize about the cut right there. So Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. I really like Sean O'Malley's chances here. I don't know why we are ignoring the fact that O'Malley just did 3 camps in a row for heavy grapplers. You have 2 back-to-back camps for Marab and 1 prior to that against Aljamain Sterling, when he showed phenomenal takedown defense against Aljamain Sterling while not even grappling for the last 6 weeks of it because he had a rib injury. And then we saw little flashes of his takedown defense against Marab, but he's a guy that's just going to ride on you and will just relentlessly go at you. So eventually he's going to get you down. When you shoot 50 takedowns, you're going to get some. So I think we need to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. I don't think Song Yadong is the same kind of wrestler that Marab is, but but I also just don't think he's as good of a wrestler overall as Merab is. I know he trains at Team Alpha Male, a gym which does produce a lot of good guys on the ground. You know, coached by Uriah Faber, my favorite fighter of all time. I just don't really know if I like Song Yadong's chances here. I think O'Malley's quicker on the feet. I like his quick twitch movement. He can dart in and out. He's got more power. Song Yadong is very fast and he's very good early on, but he's a dude who doesn't slow down, but he can be figured out as the fight goes on, which we saw that against Petr Yan. And I think Sean O'Malley is a very smart fighter too. I don't think a lot of people give him credit for his fight IQ. So I do like Sean O'Malley by decision in here. It would have been cool to see 5 rounds, but of course you're not going to have a 5 round featured fight. The next fight was Waldo Cortes-Acosta versus Derrick Lewis. Waldo Cortes-Acosta is just insane. This will be his 6th fight in, I want to say, 10 months, because his first fight of the year was in March, and his last fight of this year was going to be in November. He wanted to go in December, but he's going to have to settle for January against Derrick Lewis. You know, predicting heavyweight fights is so tough because Derrick Lewis, I mean, let's call it how it is. He's not a great fighter. He never has been a great fighter. He's 30. What is his record? He's 28, 27 and 12, I think, with 22 knockouts. And then we've seen many times, time and time again, he's getting dominated in a fight or he's just not looking good. And then he just lands the big shot, lands the equalizer, which, I mean, all credit him. So I'm not going to discredit him. But it's so hard to predict heavyweight fights when that's how a lot of these fights end, especially Derrick Lewis fights. Although also Waldo Cortes-Acosta fights. He's just been chinning people. Chin Shamil Gaziev. I don't know if I want to pick him here. He is much younger. Not much younger. He's, I think, oh no, he's noticeably younger because heavyweight division. He's 5 years younger, I believe. He's more skilled than Derrick Lewis is. And also, Waldo Cortes-Acosta is tough as fuck. He is one of the craziest chins we've ever seen, and he's at heavyweight. And he's fighting heavy punchers. We saw him eat shots against Sergey Pavlovich, which not a lot of people have done. Sergey Pavlovich at one time was called the White Ngannou. I don't know if you guys remember this. Around the time he was fighting Curtis Blades, he was known as the White Ngannou. That's what people called him as, because he had 6 first-round knockouts in a row. He was just throwing winging punches and just landing, looking great. And he was eating heavy shots, crazy shots from Sergey Pavlovich. So honestly, I like Waldo Cortes-Acosta by late KO here. But also at the same time, I mean, these are just coin flips. Any Derrick Lewis fight is a coin flip. The next fight is Gene Silva, Arnold Allen. I love this fight. This is a hardcore fan's dream matchup right here. Arnold Allen finally fighting again. He last fought when Tom Aspinall beat Curtis Blades. That was UFC 304. That means that was August of 2024, an incredibly long time ago. That was against Gaethje Chikadze. He looked solid against Gaethje Chikadze, but nothing really to write home about. He's a massive featherweight. Gene Silva is, I mean, he's not a massive featherweight. He's fought at lightweight before, and he's missed weight at featherweight before, but he's not big like Arnold Allen is. And Arnold Allen, I mean, like, these guys are mirror matchups in terms of style. They're both very reckless. They both have a lot of power in their hands. They're both very good. They're rangy. They know how to dart in and out. I really, this is tough. I want to go Gene Silva here. I just think he's better overall. I think we're overrating underrating the performance against Diego Lopes. We're seeing that he lost and then just saying, oh, he's never that good. The fighting nerds suck anyways. We just saw Rufy lose. We just saw Protest lose. The fighting nerds, we just saw Baralho lose on the same card. So he's not that. No, dude. Gene Silva is actually probably, I think he's the second best featherweight in the world. I really do. I think he's better than Diego Lopes. I know that might look a little weird, but a lot of people jumped off the Gene Silva train, but they're ignoring the fact that he looked so good against every single person here. He trains at a good gym. I get that all the fighting nerds lost at that one time. That doesn't mean that this gym is over. I really like a Gene Silva knockout here. We've seen Arnold Allen get dropped by Max Holloway, and that was before Max Holloway was known as the big power puncher. That was before he slept Justin Gaethje. That was before he slept Korean Zombie. That was before he looked so good and was knocking Dustin Poirier across the canvas. Arnold Allen is good, though. He's pretty dangerous in a clinch. I just think Gene Silva is so skilled. He's so unorthodox. He's so hard to game plan for. I'm going to go Gene Silva by KO here, probably round 3, and he's going to be right back up in the swing of things, and he's going to be a fight away from, I mean, honestly, not even a fight away, because Movzar and Lerone Murphy are most likely going to fight each other. But yeah, he'll probably be a fight away from fighting for the belt. And I believe he will be a champion within 2 years. Give him time. Still very young, too. The next fight on that card is Alexa Grasso versus Rose Namajunas. I'm going to be honest with you. I could not care less about this fight. Of course, I'm going to watch it, but I just don't really care. I'm not really looking forward to it. It's going to be a fight that I watch when it happens and then never again. The next fight, there was one more. I wrote it down, actually. What was it? Oh, it was Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo. I am picking Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. Honestly, I might even pick him by finish. Deiveson Figueiredo looked like shit in his 2 fights before his last fight, and then in his last fight, just didn't look good at all. Had like a couple moments where he landed some big winging punches against Montel Jackson, but also Montel Jackson looked so flat-footed, just looked awful, and didn't look impressive at all. So I just don't really like. I don't like his chances there. He's 30. He'll be 38 by the time that fight happens. He's coming off those injuries. I just didn't like how he looked against Montel Jackson enough in order to pick him against this fight against a guy like Umar Nurmagomedov, who went toe to toe with Marab, who looked very good against Mario Batista. I just don't like his chances here. Also on that card is Atiba Gauthier versus Andre Puliev. I'm most likely going to pick Atiba Gauthier by KO because he's just a monster and he is just seeming to be on top of the world. Of course, we haven't seen him beat a good guy. We've seen him beat Robert Valentin. We saw him beat Tristan Vines. We saw him beat Jose Medina. Like, he's not fighting good names, but Andre Puliev is a name who's not too bad. He just beat Nick Klein. Now, Nick Klein, nothing to write home about at all, but kind of whooped up on Nick Klein. So I like his chances there. I mean, I think he's not going to get worked in the first 30 seconds like his past victims have been, but I think he'll be able to put up a decently competitive fight. But ultimately, I think Atiba Gauthier is just so good, and I think he's going to land a big shot. It's inevitable. He's a massive middleweight, and who knows? Maybe it seems like we're in the era of the fraud checks now. We just saw Malcolm Wellmaker lose, so yeah, maybe Andre Puliev shocks the world. But I'm not going to pick that. And then finally, last but not least, we have Diego Lopes versus Volkanovski 2. I am so fucking angry that this fight is happening. I cannot even express to you how angry I am that this fight's. I just don't understand why we're ignoring undefeated contenders who are also very good. And why are we getting the same names on his legacy? This is most likely going to be Volkanovski's last fight. He's already talked about this, and it's being rumored that this is his last fight. Why are we doing an immediate rematch? What is the point? What is the need for this? Why are we doing immediate rematches when he gets one win, dude? I'm so sick of guys getting a title shot, losing, and then immediately fighting again, or just having one win. Like, I can't stand this, dude. Get 1 to 2 wins while you have two guys, which, yeah, okay, they're not super marketable. Okay, sure. But, dude, this is Volkanovski's last fight. That's where all the marketing comes in. And it's in Australia. So you're going to sell, well, I guess you're not going to sell pay-per-views. You're going to sell tickets. You're going to have people tune in because it's Volkanovski and it's his last fight. I just don't get why we have to ignore undefeated Movzar Evloev. He's not even a boring fighter. I don't care what any of you guys say. If you say that he's a boring fighter, that just proves to me that you haven't watched his Arnold Allen fight, his Gene Silva, I'm sorry, his, what's his name? His Aljamain Sterling fight. You haven't seen any of his last 3 fights. His Diego Lopes fight is what I meant to say. You haven't watched any of those fights clearly if you want to deem him a boring fighter, because that's just not the case and you know it. And Lerone Murphy, sure, yeah, he's not the most entertaining fighter, but he's coming off of a crazy KO win. That's what you play in the little videos, in the build-up videos to the fight. Undefeated prospect, Lerone Murphy, 19-0-1, coming off a crazy KO win against a dangerous guy like Aaron Pico, looking to become champion. UK zone. Like, come on, dude. It's so easy. How are you going to promote this fight? Okay, Diego Lopes looking to get a second shot against Volkanovski when the first fight wasn't really competitive. All he had was a knockdown in round 2, and Yeah, maybe he won round 4. I think it was round 4. Yeah, maybe he's looking to get his get back against Volkanovski for a second time when we already saw this fight in April. It's not like this fight was in 2022. It was this year, bro. I don't know. I can't stand it. I'm so sick of how we're dealing with these title shots now. You do Movsar Evloev versus Alexander Volkanovski, or you do Lerone Murphy versus Alexander Volkanovski, and then you do I was about to say Andrei Puliev. You do Arman Tsarukyan versus Justin Gaethje for the interim title, or him versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim title. I mean, to be fair, both guys. I'm talking about Tsarukyan and Gaethje. Neither guy is deserving of an interim title shot, but because you had to do an interim belt because Taporia is out, you got to pick one of them. So whatever. I'm fine if you do Justin Gaethje or if you do Paddy Pimblett. I just can't stand that we reward these crybabies that just sit on their ranking and say, you know what, I did something for you, so therefore you got to do this for me. I don't like spoiled brats. Is what I like. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm a bartender now. I used to be a server, so obviously I don't really see any kids now. But when I was a server, there used to be a lot of kids there, and the kids would cry and they want this, and the parents would say no, 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 or the parents would take the kid's tablet away, and then I'd come over 3 minutes later and they got the tablet back in their hands. I don't like spoiled, rotten people, and I think that's what Justin Gaethje is. And I see so many people in my comment section saying, "Oh, dude, don't disrespect a legend, man. He did so much for this company. He deserves it." Dude, fuck that shit. Earn your spot. This is a meritocracy. The UFC should be 80% a meritocracy. This is the real world, okay? This is the real world. You don't just get what you want. Sometimes you got to put in the work to get it, dude. Sometimes you got to stack up some wins and do the work to get it. But I don't know. I'm very annoyed that Arman Tsarukyan is not getting the shot, but it is what it is. So that means we're probably not going to see Arman Tsarukyan fight for another 8 to 9 months, or we're going to see him fight another guy, which is just kind of pointless because we know he's the best lightweight in the world behind the champion. He's beat Charles Oliveira. He's beat Justin Gaethje. Like, I don't know what else the man has to do, but it is what it is. So, or sorry, beat Dan Hooker. Sorry, you need to beat Justin Gaethje. But that is my video. That's my rant. Follow me on Instagram at VinceMMA1. Follow me on TikTok at VinceMMA1. More videos to come as well. I really did like the fact that they did the little, what do you call it? They did the little fight announcements on the halftime show. I did like that a lot. That was really cool. I think that the Paramount era of the UFC is going to be good. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at VinceMMA1.